Hello YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Baby, a budget. But today we're going to talk about how to prepare financially for a baby. I should know, you guys maybe think I'm sort of an expert when it comes to budgeting, at least with the YNAB method. I'm actually more of an expert with babies. We just had our 6th, and we prepared financially for her, and she is awesome. So, the principle here in preparing financially for anything, but in this instance we'll walk through the example of a cute little baby, is that you think long, but you act now. It's one of our guides, right? So you want to think far ahead. And the nice thing about this is you know when the baby will come, roughly, right? And probably you're doing some planning and things like that. So you're able to think long, 10 months or longer down the road, and kind of look ahead and say, okay, what will things be like? So as you think long and kind of paint a picture, then it will determine how you act now. And that's the key. With those priorities, with any long-term priority, you can look and say, okay, knowing that the baby's coming, how will I act now so that my future self with this cute little baby is ready? You don't want to throw your future self with the baby, under a bus. That was a horrible metaphor. You don't want to leave yourself stranded out there where you're not only stressed from the new baby, but you're also financially stressed. You want to do the exact opposite. You want to remove the financial stress completely from the equation and just make that completely a non-issue, and then you can just enjoy the baby and enjoy all the newbornness that comes with it, right? So that's what we want to do here. You want to think long about that and then have your decisions now really be impacted by what you want to achieve down the road. So, as you're thinking through that, just thinking about babies, I just want to run through a few examples. One, you have medical costs. You want to call your insurance company, ask them what you can expect. You want to call the hospital, ask them what you can expect there. You want to make sure that you have a good grip on what the deductible will be, all that stuff. Medical costs is an obvious one. Don't forget that there are medical costs on the run-up to having a baby a lot of the time, and you want to consider those as well. So talk with the doctor, talk with labor and delivery, all that. Get a good idea here on medical. That one's huge. That's where the big win is on making sure you have that well in hand. Consider that if you're working on commission, if you're a business owner, if you're a freelancer, consider that you probably won't be working, right? And your income might drop for a little bit. Hopefully you have a great job. My work gave me almost a whole month off after our baby came, and that was awesome. So hopefully you have a good job like that. Or, if you're running your own show, which a lot of us do, you're going to just have to be ready for that. Income might come down, you can't work as many hours, any number of things. So be aware of that one. Diapers cost a lot. I know in the comments, I can see them now. It's like, Jesse, what about cloth diapers? We gave them a hard look, and then we walked away. There was no. We couldn't even get started with them. And I know I'm going to read a comment now about how we should have. We looked. Could have saved money with cloth diapers. You know what? You could really save money on diapers if you went with cloth diapers. That's the best option. If to really save money, you buy them once, then you can reuse them over and over and over again. It's a one-time investment that pays off, especially if you have a lot of kids in the pipeline. But for us, we didn't even consider it until the 6th, so the ROI on that was way low. Anyway, I'll let the commenters figure that one out. Clothes, baby clothes. If you have a mother-in-law, you don't have to worry about it. She just buys all the baby clothes, and that works. But if you do have to worry about it, that's one more thing to think about. These babies grow like weeds, and you just got to keep, filling them with or fitting them with all sorts of cute clothes. Not really white onesies, right? I think those are great and super cute. So, eating. It's not the baby's eating; it's your eating. If you notice that the household comes to a screeching halt when the baby comes, one of the things that really come to a halt a lot of times is the cooking. So that's one thing you'd want to consider. You know what? For those first 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we may be eating out more than normal because we just don't want to deal with it. So you can eat out more and save money up for the fact that you're going to be doing that. Or you could also start planning ahead and freezing meals and doing all that. My sister-in-law did that, and that works well also. But different strokes, different folks. So if you're planning on eating out more, just make sure you're setting aside money for that as well. That's one that people miss a lot. But all this negative talk about all of the money you're going to be spending when the baby comes, what about all the money you're going to be saving, right? You don't drive as much because you just sit at home. You can't take the baby anywhere really, especially when she's brand new, so you just sit at home. As long as you got a Netflix subscription and several good books to read, you're good to go. So you drive a lot less. It means your gas cost goes down. Your dates are also cheaper because your date turns into, why don't we just go to Target and all sit out in the car with the baby while you run in and buy diapers? And then you just drive around for a little while the baby falls asleep. So your dates are a lot cheaper, although your gas cost just went up, unless you have a car like mine. Finally, you don't go on vacations. And that saves you money. So you become a homebody and you save all the money that homebodies save. And that can offset this only ever so slightly. Of course, I did not talk about babies and how they grow up. So you could consider, how are we going to save for her wedding? How are we going to pay for her college? How are we going to buy her a car when she's 16? I'm just kidding about the last one, and I'm not even sure about the other two. So if you're expecting a baby, congratulations. It is awesome. Love it. Nothing better in the world. However, let's make sure that you prepare financially so that you can have total joy, all wrapped up in that little bundle of joy, and you don't have to worry about the money. We can just have all joy all the time with the sleepless nights, with the little baby, and the money's not an issue. So you're thinking long, you're thinking hard about how will things change, how will that affect our budget, and then your decisions now are helping you get there because you're reprioritizing, you're following Rule 1, you're saying, oh no, we're going to be saving some for the baby, so we're not going to do this today. We're going to be saving some for this in 10 months, so we're not going to be doing this today. And that's the idea. Again though, super congratulations because there's truly nothing better. I'll see you guys next week.